You are listening to Oh My Health, There Is Hope podcast.
When your heart is aching and your world is shaking, don't give up. No, don't give up.
Hello and welcome to Oh My Health, There Is Hope, the podcast. I'm your host, Jana Short. And today we're back with L.Y. Marlow on our third part of her four-part series. I'm so excited about it. L.Y. Marlow is an award-winning author, multi-passionate entrepreneur, and empowerment influencer who helps women confront their fears, embrace their passion, purpose, and power. And oh my gosh, get your seatbelt on because she is a pistol. Let me tell you, she's amazing. So thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, I'm so glad to be back. You know why? Because first of all, in the first segment of this four-part series, we cover mindset. And I said before, and I'll say it again, anything you do as an entrepreneur, it is 80% mindset and 20% strategy. So if you have not watched segment number 1 or listened to it, go back to that. And then we move, Jana, right into your favorite.
My total favorite mission.
Yes. And we talked about getting clear on your vision, your mission, your why. We talked about mastering what impact you're bringing to the world, how selling versus serving is two different things. If you have not listened to it, you got to go back because mindset, mission now sets us up for maximize. So what do I mean by maximize? When you think of maximize, Jana, how do you maximize your work, how you serving, how you are showing up every day and connecting to your why?
For me, I extend my reach, right? So my reach is just my bubble reach, right? But I start collaborating with other geniuses like yourself, and I start extending my message throughout them because who isn't willing to share a message of hope? And so the way I maximize my time is connecting with incredible people with the same kind of thought process. We're running on parallel tracks, and I start serving them and they start serving back, right? I start collaborating with geniuses.
You could not have said it any better. You maximize by building connection. You maximize by communication. You maximize by creating your community. And you maximize by simply showing up. I want to talk about each of those things. And I want to start with communication because communicating with your audience that you serve, they connect with you through multiple ways. And the way they connect with you is through your brand first. It's about your brand identity. And you've got to get clear on how do you want your customers, your clients, your community to relate to you? Because the way you show up is how they're going to relate. You know, one of the things that I hear often is that the community you serve, they got to first know you, they got to like you, and they got to trust you. I did a workshop yesterday, and one of the things that it talked about was Instagram is now becoming the new Google. Can you believe that? Instagram is becoming the new Google. You know why? Because people can feel like they can go on Instagram and they see you. They can touch you. They can hear you. They can listen to you. Google, you could just search, right? It doesn't mean it's going to replace Google. It's just being another platform that people can form connection. So when you think of your brand identity, you got to think of these core elements. Number 1, what is your brand position? What is your unique value proposition? I talked about in mission, getting clear on your unique value proposition, your value, what are you offering? How is it going to serve instead of sell? What need are you addressing? Number 2, what promise? What is your brand promise? What are you promising? What commitment are you making to the audience that you are serving? And I talked the mindset about having integrity. If you make a commitment, you got to deliver on it. It may not be your best sometimes, but you still got to stand by your brand promise. What service or impact are you making a commitment about? The next thing is, what is your brand personality? How will you relate to your customers? And personality can show up in many different ways. This is truly my personality. I had to learn to step into my Sasha Fair, but this is truly who I am. I just didn't have the confidence to own her. What is your brand personality? What is your brand? How does it look? How does it feel? Is it relatable, right? And most important, what is your brand story? What is your brand story? I'm going to be talking next about the power of your story. People, one of the things about your why, I like the way that Simon Sinek, one of the influencers around the whole why phenomenon, he said, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. People love you, Jana, because they connect with your story, that story of hope. They connect with that story of not just surviving, but thriving. They even connect with your grandson. They want to see him, they want to know him, they want to hug him and kiss him because that's your story. And that's why you do what you do and why you do it so successfully and so flawlessly, right?
I feel like your story is a superpower, guys.
It is the superpower.
Let that flag wave because it is a unique and like nobody else's.
That is your unique value proposition. That is your unique value proposition. And then when you package that all up with your brand identity, your position, your promise, your personality, your story, how do you communicate it? How do you communicate it? How do you engage with your customers? And I don't mean, well, I post cute cat pictures on Instagram. That's cool. But they want to see you, they want to know you, they want to like you, they want to trust you. How do you communicate it? Let me ask you, what is one of the most effective things, Jana, that you do in your work and your passion and your why that you feel people really resonate with?
I share little blurbs about me. I'm very authentic. I took a picture that I could see all my wrinkles in, right? I was looking in the window and all my wrinkles and grays were showing. And I thought about not posting it, but then I did. I posted because that's who I am. And I told them the story about me remembering as a little girl, when my mom's friend would come to visit, she would laugh and all these lines would pop up around her eyes and her mouth. And as a little girl, I was like, when am I going to get those? Like they were so much personality when she laughed that I wanted them. And there they were one day. They were all over my face. And when I post about that, I got such engagement because it was a real personal moment and insight to something I was going through, right? And so if you show up authentic and real, they get it. What they do also get is when you're not showing up authentic and real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that's when they know you, they like you, they connect with you, and now they trust you. Because you said, you know what? This is who I am. This is who I am. And more importantly, it gave them permission to show up authentically. It made them feel like, oh, you know what? Thank you, Jana, for that today, because I've been feeling some kind of way about my wrinkles and my grays, right?
Right. It does give them permission, like to love who they are and what they look like. It was a lot to get me to this age, and I'm grateful for every part of that journey. So I'm going to embrace those wrinkles.
Yes, yes. Now, here's the big aha moment when you think about your brand identity, and that is the power of your story. Let me say that again. The power of your story. Your story is key to building connection. And let me be clear about this. I don't mean, Jana, just go and say, oh, let me tell them about this story because this is going to help me sell. If you go with that, see right through it. Your story is being honest, real, authentic, open, and I like the way Brene Brown put it, vulnerable. When Brene Brown did that video on TED Talk around the power of vulnerability, it's one of the highest ranking videos ever in the history of the TED Talks because people connected with realizing it was okay to be vulnerable. And so your story is your know, like, trust moment. Be real about it. Use it. Be honest. I launched an entire national nonprofit called Saving Promise, about 5 generations of domestic violence in my family. Promise is my daughter's little girl, my granddaughter. We both are young grandmamas, right?
Yes, very young.
And yes, because we had our children very young. And I talk about the horrible abuse that my mother, my grandmother, myself, my daughter, and then Promise suffered over now 75 years. And I walked away from a corporate career to launch a nonprofit called Saving Promise. And Promise is real, right? That's real. That ain't no made up. I didn't do it. I walked away because it was a moment that I almost lost my daughter and my granddaughter. Your story moves people. It creates personal connection. It makes them feel like, you know what? In fact, it might even save a life. It might even save a life, because when you serve and not sell, and your story can help someone, it is more powerful. It is your unique value proposition. It is part of your brand identity. Now, when you package all that together, you got to figure out, you said about reaching and connecting with people. How do you reach more people? How do you expand? How do you build? How do you create? We are now, folks, listen up loud and clear. If you didn't know it, we are now into the, tens of thousands, neons and eons of the digital age. COVID pushed us there even quicker. We were already there, but now we are in a place where social, digital, virtual, all of that has to be part of how you show up in the world. I'm not saying you got to do all those things. Let me be clear. I'm saying, because some people are like, I don't like to be on camera. Or my voice isn't cute. Or, you know what? I don't like showing pictures of myself. It is okay. This is the world we're living in right now. Here's a tidbit. Are you ready to hear something else about me, Jana?
Ready to hear it. Go.
I do not like social media.
Oh yeah, no, me either.
I don't. I tried and I try to do it, and I struggle with it because I'm a very private, introverted, extroverted person, and I don't know how to just go down the street and stop. Like, I was sitting out the other day in my community and I saw this young couple come by and they stopped right in front of me and she whipped out her phone and they were like, ooh, ooh. I don't know how to do that, but I forced myself to do it. And in fact, one of the things that I stepped out of my fear on is I always wanted to have a dog. I got sick again and I said, you know what, I'm getting a dog. And I got Henry and I did a little video of me and Henry. Now, Henry's a puppy right now. He's a big puppy because he's a greyhound. And he was jumping up on me and biting my arm and everything. And I posted it and it got the most views. And one of my girlfriends said to me, he was like chewing you apart. But that's real. He's a puppy and he's chewing me apart. And I posted it. Guess what? People probably have other puppies or dogs that chew them apart. So they were like, I really like this video, right? So you gotta know, how do I use digital media, move into the digital age to do what I'm doing? And what I mean by that, if you have a brick and mortar type of business, that's cool. But how do you also make that brick and mortar type of business be transferable as well in the digital age, right? Was Best Holistic ever always digital, or did it have other elements?
It was always digital because I consider myself a global influencer, because when I was sick and bad and I was looking for answers, I typed those words into my keyboard, like desperate for health answers is exactly what I typed in. Where else in the world can you sit at your keyboard and extend your reach around the world? and find answers in like one. I was too sick to get out of bed, but I was able to touch so many people and pull in so much information. So I do have a love-hate with it. I also am not a fan of it, but I answer all my own DMs. It's all me there, because the minute it's not, people know that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So you got to figure out, I'm not saying you can't do brick and mortar. You can't sell, door to door, that kind of thing, or serve, not sell, serve door to door. But you got to figure out, how do I also do it in a digital age? And then finally, you got to always just get out there and put together a 90-day plan. If you have a new business idea, 90 days, get it out there. And if you are already in business and you're trying to do something or up level or scale it, 90 days, just do it. Just do it. You got to have the just do it mentality, create that 90 days plan, and get out there and just take one step at a time. That's how you maximize.
Well, I love maximize. Like, I love all these M's. But before we go, I definitely want to talk about, I know you offer a 3-day intensive mastermind called FAST, where you help women launch their vision or business. And I was hoping you could tell us all about it, but not only about it, where can we become part of that?
Oh, I love that question. I love that because I love serving and I love helping women launch their business. And I created a 3-day mastermind called FAST, meaning it actually helped you launch and get moving fast. And it's 3 days where by the end of that 3rd day, you not only have a blueprint, a roadmap, but you have a strategy, and I help you launch it within 90 days, period. And they can learn more by setting up a free call with me, a strategy call. And even if you just walk away with this call, I'm really good at strategizing. I'm excellent at it. So even if you just walk away and I gave you some other ideas and FAST is not for you, that's okay, because I'm here to serve. And you can do that by going to bootcamp.lymarlow.com. There's a link there. You can set up a free strategy call with me and let's just talk. Let's hear about your ideas and just go from there.
We'll have all of that in the show notes. You guys can easily go there and click it. Again, if you haven't already watched part 1 about mindset and part 2 about mission, my favorite. And then now we're on Maximind and we will be going to momentum, right? Everybody wants that momentum. So the next will be on that. I also want to just quickly ask you about one of my favorite things you do, about Monster and Chick Skits. I love it. I know you're launching a women empowerment theatrical phenomenon called Monster Chicks and Skits. Oh my gosh, that's a tongue twister. You try to say that 3 times in a row. I was hoping you would tell us a little bit about that and where people can get that for their audience, workplace conferences, or summit, because I think it's phenomenal.
Absolutely. Monster Chicks and Skits is an idea in collaboration with one of my friends, Rebecca and Jamie, that came up with the concept when I wrote a book called Don't Look at the Monster, where the monsters are brought to life. I don't say I had fear. It was telling my story, or I had worry. Fear, worry, doubt, regret were real characters in the book. So I had to figure out a way, how do I actually bring these characters to life, especially after so many women connected with it. And so I got with my 2 friends, Rebecca and Jamie, and we came up with a concept called Monster Chicks and Skits that use comedy, characters, puppets, and me to bring to life the funny ways that we as women confront and overcome our monsters, and how we empower them to also step into their passion, purpose, and power. So if you want to learn about Monster Chicks and Skits, or if you have a conference or workshop, or you have a group that you want to bring us to, go to lymarlow.com and hit me up, and I can't wait to share more.
Thank you so much, LY. I cannot wait to hear about momentum. Like, if you don't have any momentum, you're probably sitting somewhere and should be moving. So I love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Oh My Health, There Is Hope podcast. Make sure to visit Jana's website, bestholisticlife.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, or listen there, so you'll never miss an episode. While you're at it, if you found value in the show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you simply tell a friend about the show, that'll help too. Let's change the world together, one health expert at a time. Looking forward to seeing you next time.